I got asked a pretty interesting question just a few days ago about multipathing, and some people wanted to know what my stance was on it, and I decided, honestly, I never really talk about my stance on multipathing, and I decided I'm going to do that in this video. So, multipathing is a side effect of radars where the radar locks onto the reflection of a target off the ground. So there's a certain point with each, radar and target where there's a direct leg, the reflected leg, and the reflection point, and if a target is low enough, the missile should, in theory, miss. This is more realistically a thing with, ground-air radar, not necessarily air radar. So this guy on the forums was asking a couple questions. One, how resistant are these missiles in-game? And if they should be entirely immune? And would it be worth removing/reducing multipathing to realistic levels? Is there balancing and gameplay issues? Now, my personal stance is, and this is not how I think the game should be at all, this would be terrible, but completely remove multipathing for every single radar missile, except for extremely early versions, extremely early AIM-7s, and R3Rs, and other extremely early R24, other early radar missiles. A lot of the Fox ones we have in game, like the advanced R27 and the AIM-7M and F, should be immune to multipathing, and even if not, Fox 3s should be. Now, in game, obviously, right now, you can just hug, stay extremely low and be safe from radar missiles. This isn't like completely immune. There will be splash damage sometimes, but for the most part, you are completely safe. Now, this does let new players who maybe are not quite as experienced to just fly extremely low and be, for the most part, okay. Now, that does lead to, I've seen more than one person complain that it's so low that they end up crashing trying to defend from missiles. And I realize I see a lot more people crash at top tier than I do at low or mid tier. I think part of that might be because people are trying to multipath missiles by going so low they hit a tree. And that could be something to it. I think if we decrease multipathing even more, at least for Fox 3s, it would make it to the point where people have to actually play the game in a more realistic standpoint. Actually having to notch or go cold or crank or get behind a mountain or a ridge like they would in real life. It would also give a lot more reason to go high. We're only going to be getting more advanced radars and more advanced missiles as the game progresses. I would like to see this change happening sooner with less advanced Fox 3s than what we're going to get before we get to super advanced Fox 3s, and we also then have a multipathing change thrown at us. Also, I forgot to mention it, but I would really appreciate it if you guys hit the like button and subscribed. Only about 7% of my current viewers are subscribed, and it really helps out the channel. Anyways, back on with the video. My personal suggestion is that multipathing gets removed completely for Fox 3s. The only two missiles Fox 3s I think that should continuously have multipathing, but it be at a much lower than it is right now, is the AIM-54 Phoenix and the Falcor 90. My reasoning for this is that I do believe these are older, or that these missiles are too powerful without the multipathing change just because of the massive explosive mass both missiles have. So I do think, and also because you can find them at a much lower BR than other Fox 3s, at least of like the AIM-120. I know AIM-120s can be found pretty low at like 13.0, but at least with the Phoenix change, I believe the Phoenix sits at 12.7 and 13.0, and the Valkor's at 13.0. But anyways, I do think that should be changed for all future Fox 3s and Fox 3s now. Honestly, I don't think that change is going to happen. If anything, I think multipathing is going to be increased to probably closer to 100 meters or 150 meters, because right now gameplay in top tier is just not really playable. I do think there has to be a lot of reworks to make it playable. I do think one of the things that could help with SAR or semi-active radar homing missiles, like early ones, that if Gaijin just got rid of multipathing, would be the radar change. I know a lot of radars in-game are underperforming, especially Soviet and Russian ones, and that American ones are also technically underperforming. But one of the things that every single radar system, and minus a couple of the really advanced ones, are seemingly completely overperforming in is the fact that they can see right down to the ground, and a lot of the older radars couldn't really do that. So you would be able to technically fly, air quote, under the radar, and that's really where a lot of the Vietnam era radars, like found on the F4, the MiG-21, MiG-23s, and later F4s, and even early F-14 and F-15, F-16s, and MiG-29s, all of that should be possible. Once we get to the more advanced aircraft like the F-15E and other improved F16 versions, that really shouldn't be a thing anymore. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I hope to see what you guys say, and make sure to join the Discord link down below.
Hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is